these are your section 2.4 notes. In 2.4, we are focusing on multiplying and dividing rational numbers. Remember, a rational number is any number that has a terminating decimal. The steps for multiplying fractions are listed here. First, you multiply the numerators. Second, you multiply the denominators. And then third, you simplify. So let's say that we have the fraction 2/3 times 4/8. The first thing we do is multiply the numerators. So 2 times 4, so 2 times 4 is 8. And 3 times 8 is 24. Now that we have our answer of 8/24, we go ahead and we simplify. We simplify by finding the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor, or the GCF, of 8 and 24 is 8. So since we know the GCF is 8, we will just divide both the numerator and denominator by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 24 divided by 8 equals 3. So 2/3 times 4/8 is equal to 1/3. Now, I want you to go ahead and try this next example. So you'd write this in your notes in pencil and then pause the video and try. So your problem to try is 5/6 times 2/5. So pause the video and go ahead and try. Okay, so now that you've done your own work, here you can check your answer. So you can see that the answer for this one, once simplified, is also 1/3. If you did not get this correct, make sure you check in with me and ask for help. Next, we're going to practice dividing fractions. The steps for dividing fractions are, first, you flip the second fraction. Second, you multiply the numerators. And third, you multiply the denominators. After that, you may simplify. So let's say that I had the problem 2/8 divided by 1/3. Okay? First thing that I need to do, it says right here, is flip the second fraction. This is my second fraction, so I need to flip it. In order to flip it, we simply write this as 3/1. This is also known as the reciprocal. 1/3 and 3/1 are reciprocals. So now that I've done my first step and I flipped my second fraction, I am going to multiply the numerators. So I'm going to switch this, to multiply. And then I will go ahead and multiply across. So I have 2 times 3, which equals 6, and 8 times 1 equals 8, okay? And now I'm left with 6/8. So from here, I'm going to simplify by finding the GCF. The GCF of 6 and 8 is 2. So I will divide 6 by 2, and I will divide 8 by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So my answer would be 3/4. I want you to, when you're dividing fractions, the really important thing to remember is that you are flipping the fraction and then multiplying. So you flip the second fraction and then you multiply, okay? Now try this one on your own. And so we have 5/8 divided by 3/6. So go ahead, pause your video, and try this one on your own. When you're done, you can resume the video and check to see if your answer is correct. Okay, now that you're done, you can go ahead and check your work, and you can see right here that the answer should be 5/4. Okay? Again, if you didn't get this correct, please make sure you check in with me so I can provide you with some more help. The last thing I want you to remember is our rules for multiplying and dividing. So if you look right here, you have to remember that a negative times a negative always equals a positive. So for example, if we have negative 1/2 times negative 2/3, my answer is going to be positive. So it would be positive 2/6, and you could simplify from there. All right, so then the next thing is we have to remember our other rule is a positive times a positive equals a positive. Same thing, if we have 1/2 times 2/3, both factors are positive, so my answer will be positive 2/6. And then the last rule we're going to look at is a negative times a positive is a negative. So for example, if I had negative 1/2 times positive 2/3, my answer is going to be negative because I have a negative times a positive. So this answer would be negative 2/6. So when you're multiplying and dividing rational numbers, remember that the same rules apply for when we're multiplying and dividing integers. Okay, you can go ahead and start your 2.4 online practice, and that's found on Big Ideas website.